fuck you, pay me. That's the attitude. That's the American way. It's the 2008 financial crisis, but it goes beyond that. Money is always a concern. It's always present, always in the conversation, always on the news, always in the background. Business, citizens, criminals, Killing Them Softly is that film. Strong arm robbery, gambling, scheming, beatings, killings, meetings, money. 2012's Killing Them Softly. Tonight, RickRamos, what say you?
What say I? In the past, I have said numerous times that you react to a movie with a certain level of baggage that you bring into the movie. And each movie that you like, depending on how you feel about a film, speaks volumes to who you are as a person. So after watching this movie again last night, and I've seen it a couple of times before this, but it's been a good 7 or 8 years since I've seen this movie that I've sat down and actually dedicated some time, but more importantly, some thought and introspection into it. I gotta say that I'm a little bit troubled by my own attitudes, because this is a movie that resonates. This is a great movie as far as I'm concerned. I really feel that I've found something that speaks to me in a way that a lot of movies don't. I don't know if that makes it a better movie than it is, but from what I watched, I saw the elements of what makes a good movie in by my standards. The social commentary, well thought out characters, beautifully acted scenes, and assured direction that doesn't get in the way of itself. A lot of times you can see flashy direction that overstates its own importance, and I think Andrew Dominik with this film is doing something that is a little bit more subtle, while at the same time being kind of innovative with certain elements, especially with the in and outs of the way he shoots some of the heroine, not necessarily dream sequences, but the in and out of the heroine high. I watched this film and I'm excited because I think over the next hour we're going to start discussing something that we're going to be discussing a film that speaks volumes about the culture that we live in, but also each one of us and our attitudes about the world around us and about ourselves in specific, and specifically about ourselves. I'm really interested to hear your opinion, because I don't know what your relationship is to this film. So, as I have done so many times, I start with a simple question: what is your relationship to this film? And where does that carry you?
I mean, my relationship to the film is I live in fucking capitalist America, you know what I mean? And therefore, I mean, this is a gritty, filthy, dirty, sad, little depressing film.
I loved it though. Subconsciously, that works into something that says a lot about me. A dirty, gritty, sad, depressing, ugly little film. Yeah. Everything that describes my soul. Yeah.
But I mean, it also has this kind of like, it is definitely like forged in the fire of the fucking 70s street aesthetic, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It has the mafia kind of bona fides because it has Ray Liotta and James Gandolfini. It's Boston, not New York, but it's still that East Coast vibe. It's fucking gritty. It's got a fucking, that's Sam Shepard, right? In the beginning,
Dylan.
it's all of that. So I can see how it would speak to you in a certain way.
Yeah.
My relationship is I'm just like, fuck. We are all victims of this shit, of this system, regardless of. I mean, I'm getting into now my interpretation versus my relationship. But I guess that is my relationship. I don't have a. I've seen it like maybe 3 times. I was never. Oh fuck! Like this movie.
Yeah.
Speaks to me like that. I think when those things happen, it's just. I think there's a method to it. I think there's a formula to it, but at the same time, not always. Sometimes those things are somewhat. They can be formulaic, like, oh yeah, this has all the boxes that they check off for Rick. But then sometimes there's something that's random, and granted, those random things also sometimes, like, the exception proves the rule. But for me, it didn't necessarily check off. That's not really my vibe. That's not my thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I can see how it's those films or films like it are fewer and further between. So I can see like how exciting this shit is. I was like into it. I hadn't seen it in a while, so I was just kind of like, oh shit! But yeah, this is really good. You said that you were troubled by some of your attitudes. You said something almost like, I'm curious as to what is it? Is it the cynicism? Is it the fucking why you like it so much? Is it what is it?
What is it about? I think. What is it about it that scares me about? I think when you look at your life and you see there is a tendency to romanticize the misery and the ugliness of life. But when a film is as bleak as this film is, and it is ugly as it is, and there are no redeemable characters, and there's nothing really to identify with as far as an uplifting sense of self. You can look at a number of characters in different movies, and you could see a loser character, but there's something redeemable about the character. There's a code. There's a struggle against the system, or how everything is coming down on a person, on a specific character, and how that character struggles to maintain their integrity. That's not here. There is nobody in this film that is redeemable in any respect. The closest you come to it is the Brad Pitt character, who is a consummate professional, but is not in any way a good man. And I'm not even talking about the problem of his job as a hitman, as a hired gun for I wouldn't even call it the mob or the mafia. I would call it the corporation, the outfit, which is a term that was originally started by, I think, Donald Westlake in his Parker series of novels that I've mentioned in the past, where organized crime becomes corporate, and they play into I don't think they overstate that in this film, but they do it very well, where they're talking about committees and people coming together and deciding by committee who needs to be handled and how they need to be handled, the blowback that might bring down on them, and the attitudes that they have in order to function in their business. To go back to your original question, I think you see, for me, I've always prided myself on being a cynic and a pessimist with a degree of hopefulness within all of that, because I believe that without hope, you don't really have anything. If it's just if it's just cynicism and pessimism and a certain level of disgust for both the species and the culture and basically the culture as a whole, then what do you have to hold on to? And for me, it's always been the beauty of the individual, the beauty of yourself in being able to have a purpose and to find those other people in your life that mirror that, or at least do so with something that they actually care about to the same degree that you do. This has none of that. But I think it's a beautifully realized ugly look at the culture as a whole, an ugly, honest look at the culture as a whole. And I'm disturbed by that. And I walk out of it thinking, is this who we are? And I ask myself that rhetorically because I know it is who we are.
We who?
Americans specifically. I don't know about other countries. I can't speak to that, but I also believe that America, kind of the ugly hand of America, and I'm not anti-patriotic in the sense that I hate my country. I'm not that guy, but I am not the guy that is going to sit here and pretend that this country isn't falling apart, hasn't been falling apart, but also was never really based on the ideals that it put up as a facade. There was always an ugliness here. There was always a hypocrisy here. Whether you want to believe it or not believe it, that's on you. But I don't fall into that mindset of rah rah America. I think one of the great things about this movie is it's during that 2008 financial crisis, and I remember being in it. I remember how ugly it was. I was poor, so it didn't affect me in the same way that it did people who had something to actually lose. It did get it got tougher, but when you're poor, it's like, fuck. Well, this too shall pass. This too, I shall. This sucks like yesterday sucked. It's just going to be like, I didn't lose, I didn't have a mortgage. I didn't have to default. I didn't, jobs. I was substitute teaching, so jobs became harder to get at that point. But it's just when you're blue collar, working class, you're kind of used to the system being set up against you and fucking you at every turn. I don't think that's a cynical attitude to have. I think it's a very realistic attitude to have. And I think this movie portrays the working class in that way, but does it from a criminal aspect. And it's like, wow, that element is, as fucked up as the system is, people still need to gamble. People still need to be out there hustling. There are others that are bottom feeders, that are parasites, that are trying to get over. Everybody's trying to cheat somebody else. And even in the business of having to fix the problems, there are elements there that are problematic. And there's a hopelessness in this film that as you watch it, you realize, with all these speeches by Barack Obama, who was ascending to the presidency at that point, and this is not Austin. I think this movie is set in Louisiana. I think it's set post-Katrina. I'm not sure what part. What's that?
I thought it was Boston.
No, it's I think it's Louisiana. To be honest, I don't think Boston is that ugly. I think the character that Gandolfini plays is coming down from Boston or Maryland. I'm not sure which one.
He's from New York.
Well, they call him New York Mickey. I don't know if he's coming in. You know what? It's weird. I don't know if it is Boston. Is it Boston?
Well, that main scumbag character has that fucking Southie accent.
Yeah, that's true.
So You know what I mean?
The city, it looks too ugly to be Boston, though. To me, I don't know.
I've never been there. I think it's Boston. I want to go with Boston. I'm gonna look it up.
It might be Boston. I don't know. Either way, it is Boston.
Yeah.
Wow, it is Boston. Wow, goddamn, Boston's fucking ugly. Okay. For some reason, I thought it was Louisiana. Anyway, when you watch a film and you feel like this is affirming everything that you believe, then there's a part of you that has to accept that the ugliness is not necessarily something that you can dismiss, and that it's going to be easily overcome. But it also says something about your attitude, and I find myself struggling with the idea that I hate as much as I do. That I'm disgusted and disappointed by as much of what I see around me. And this movie does nothing but reaffirm all of that. This is an ugly, bleak, hopeless movie. And it's funny to me that you see Barack Obama on the TV, or you hear him talking about the hope and us coming together as one people and as a culture, and Jackie, Brad Pitt's character, kind of word for word talking about. Well, there's one moment where he just says he's going to refer to us as a culture or as a people, and there he does, and you know, it's like you're sitting there listening to a politician, and you know the song. You know the words. You know the chorus. Nothing has changed. It's all going to be the same bullshit, and it's lies. And what bothers me is how stupid they think we are. But as you and I have spoken to many times, I'm starting to understand that maybe we are that stupid, and maybe we do deserve the level of graft and abuse that we're experiencing right now. You know, I hate it. I hate to say it, but it is.
That's the part that's dangerous, because then we get into that romanticism of the class fuckness, the class struggle, and how fucked up shit is, and how and it's like, no, we don't fucking deserve that.
The saving grace is recognizing it. It's you know, you start playing with these ideas of you've heard the saying, we get the president that we deserve.
Yeah.
In some ways, in a very obvious way, I hate that, seeing as who the president is now. But at the same time, I think it's very difficult for me to take a step back and say, no, that is not true.
It's it's all a result. Like, what's happening now is part of the trajectory of what is the background of this film.
Yeah.
This film is fucking, again, 2008 financial crisis. Bush versus Obama. No, it's actually at that time it was Bush outgoing and
John McCain. Was it John? No,
it might be. Okay, Bush 1 was Bush 2 first time was 2000, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's McCain. And this is all fucking Tea Party shit, and this is like as a result of Obama winning, like, or having won, the fucking country swings back further to the right, and Donald Trump, like, comes out of that. But it's corporate versus blue collar. And in this film, it's set up very much as like blue collar. As you said, like the metaphor is that, okay, we're not talking about the regular world. We're talking about the crime world, the underworld. And it's blue collar versus money men either way, because you have criminals as workers, and then you have the underpaying criminal businessmen and bosses. And within that structure, like you said, you have this syndicate, you have this organization, whatever it is, where if it's a pyramid, and it always is a fucking pyramid, you've got the low wage earners scraping by the bottom. They're in survival mode. You see a fucking complete loss of humanity. Like they're basically in the film, metaphorically, they're practically animals.
Yeah, they're dirty. They stink. Yeah.
In the hierarchy of fucking supposedly humans are better than animals, even though we are animals. They're filthy. The one guy is like trying to sell dogs, and he's fucking covered in dog shit, and he's talking about like these disgusting sexual things he's doing with some fucking junkie, and he's a junkie, and like you hate these people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the purpose is to make you they dehumanize themselves. They're just in survival mode. A little bit higher than them, or next up on the next rung, it's the hitmen and the muscle. It's the fucking workers, the tradesmen, the people who are day in and day out. They fucking clock in, they clock out. It's the fucking soul crushing grind. It's the that fuck you pay me attitude.
Mm-hmm.
They look down on the fucking street rats below them, but they also fucking look down on the fucking corporate, well, they consider the corporate assholes above. That's Brad Pitt, James Gandolfini. You either have the professional fucking guy who's like, he shows up, he's the consummate worker, or you have the guy he's fucking up just to keep his mind from going crazy with this shit. Above him or above them, the managers, the fucking Ray Liottas, they want to climb so badly, they'll fuck both sides, they'll fuck people below them, but they also fuck people above them. They want to be the people above them. They're always looking for advancement. It's very corporate. This is very, it's like Office Space as well, you know what I mean? Like, above them are the corporate representatives. That's the fucking, the Richard Jenkins character who he thinks for the company, he speaks for the company, he acts on behalf of the company, he is the company. He's been absorbed into the fucking like culture and thought process of the company. And then you have the bosses who we never see, fittingly, who all they do is accumulate wealth. They don't pay, and they just rip off everyone. It's a pyramid scheme. They just rip everyone off below them. And Brad Pitt, in all of his cynicism, is talking about, in response to Obama's speech, he basically says, come on, you're going to tell me that we're one community, one fucking people? Like, really? Like, Thomas Jefferson was a slave-owning wine snob who didn't want to pay taxes to the Brits. He wrote some inspiring words that people died for while he sat back, drank his wine, and fucked his slave girl. And he goes on to basically say that in America, you're fucking on your own. Like, America is not a country, he says. It's a business. And then he's like, now fucking pay me. Because he's haggling over this price after having killed these people with the corporate representative guy who's like, oh, well, this came up, so you're actually only going to get this price versus blah, blah. And it's like, no, motherfucker, like, fucking pay me. And the situation that we're in now is such that it's like, it's always been that kind of corporate business mind. There was such a right-wing swing after Obama because of the racism. I was fascinated by the, like, you know, all these fucking characters in this film are racist as fuck. You just know it. Because
yeah,
there are a couple moments where Brad Pitt says something along the lines of, oh, like, the direction that this fucking country's going in, or James Gandolfini says, oh, like some fucking draft dodger, and you're going like, yeah, this is some right-wing shit. And then you end up like, if you look at like the MAGA movement, you have the leaders are all corporate Epstein fucking billionaires or wannabes. And then the followers are all these fucking like thug-minded, rabid, anti-corporate, supposedly right-wingers that talk like that. That say fucking like, oh, like some fucking draft dodger. Oh, you mean like your boss, like your god? Or they say fucking, you know, this, the direction that this fucking country's going in, blah blah blah. It's crazy to me. It's always been very interesting to me how a lot of times criminals or bikers or people like that are, they're right wingers. Like, they're not fucking, they're super rebellious. But if their leader is, or if the fucking government leader is a fucking strong fucking so-called strong man, like, because they recognize power. That's what they fucking recognize. And if the leader, in this case Trump, the fucking crime boss or whatever, with quotes or not quotes, if he, with him, it's just like, oh, well, he's a fucking he's the business guy like us, like he knows it's a fucking scam and he's in on it. Like, don't hate the player, hate the game. Fucking, they have that capitalist get yours fucking mentality. They're not fucking interested in like fucking sympathy for the downtrodden. They're just like, oh, fuck that guy. That guy's a fucking scumbag. I'm out here fucking busting my ass. He fucking should have, like, fuck that guy. It's very fascinating. Even like mafia guys or ex-mafia guys, you listen to some of their podcasts, they're out there. Either they're fucking born-again Christians and they got in on that grift, or else fucking like, or they're talking shit about Obama, and it's like, yeah, because you know you're fucking racist. Like, and like they don't say, oh, I don't like Obama because of his fucking illegal wars and illegal drone strikes and whatever. Like I'll criticize Obama about that shit all day long. No, they don't fucking like Obama because for the obvious reasons.
Absolutely.
So it's fascinating. It's fascinating to me, the that dichotomy and the willingness to talk all this shit about the corporate mindset when they put themselves as the masses to be stepped on so that these corporate assholes can fucking climb higher. And they'll die for these motherfuckers. They'll do the January 6th, they'll do all that. And they'll talk about how fucking badass and tough they are and how Washington, D.C. is the problem. but then they'll prop up their desired version of fucking the crime boss into Washington D.C. and be like, oh, he's trying to fix it. And it's tough guys always seem to like, not always, but like tough guys have that thing. Bikers, fucking gang, fucking you hear that enough that it's a thing. The MMA guys, the Joe Rogan guys, the fucking they fucking love Donald Trump. And Donald Trump does not love them. But he loves that they exist. It's fascinating to me. I guess there's an aspect of like, oh, the weak. I mean, no one's really thinking in terms of like, oh, like leftists. Let's say, oh, the radical left. But when they think of the radical left, they think of some like trans kid with dyed hair in college who's fucking studying some kind of useless degree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they'll think of that, and they're like, "Oh, that's the enemy that is coming to destroy us." And it's kind of like, motherfucker, like no. Or else they'll think of like a liberal or an establishment liberal who's just as corporate, who's getting just as much fucking money from APAC or whatever these other fucking groups are, who's like, they don't really give a fuck if shit's declining as long as they can do their insider trading and be like, oh well, I'm a Democrat, yeah. So it's very interesting, and taking it back to the film, everyone's basically trying to fuck each other over. It doesn't pretend to be the Godfather that glamorizes like loyalty or I'm a man of honor. I'm a fucking man of my word. I'm fucking like the family. None of this. It's just fucking everything is, as I said in the beginning, it's just money. I mean, there are parts the credits roll on with that fucking the best things in life are free. Blah blah blah. I want money. That song, which is a little bit too on the nose for me.
Well, we're going to talk about that in another episode. Music being too on the nose, being too obvious. Yeah.
It's been on the mind because of that, because we're doing some soundtrack work and research and stuff like that. I think there are moments when being on the nose works.
Yeah.
I mean, you talked about the heroin scene in this film, and I had forgotten that they used the Velvet Underground, and they used the Velvet Underground song "Fucking Heroin," and I was like, "Oh no!" Like, luckily they don't use a portion of the song that has lyrics. All they do is play like the opening. So if you know the song, you know the song.
Well, I was going to say that I don't know the song, so it sets up a weird kind of vibe, which I guess is what kind of Lou Reed was going for in the original creation of the song. So so it's on point for you. It's not on point for me, which is not to say that it's not on point. Yeah.
But that's right. But the good for someone like you who's not familiar with the song, I think it works better because it doesn't seem like a cliche.
Yeah, you're right.
Whereas for me, I was just kind of like, oh, you're really gonna play fucking heroin like in a heroin scene? Like you're really gonna fucking do that? But at least they didn't do the lyrics. He doesn't go into any of that. You know, I don't know just where I'm going, heroin, it's my life, it's my wife. He doesn't do any of that. He just plays the intro and it's just kind of like, okay. And then later on he has some Nico music, so it's just kind of like, okay, so he's just into that. You know what I mean? Like, so it's one of those things where it can take you out or put you in. But this does continue to hit you with that vibe of it's all about fucking money. And if you don't try to get yours someone else is gonna fucking get you. That fucking movie. Which one is it? Is it Trespass or is it? I always confuse this. Where whichever rapper, I don't know. I confuse it because
Cube
one
and
is Ice T and
Ice-T?
one is Ice Cube.
Well,
Yeah,
Ice-T
but
and
what
Ice Cube are in Trespass. It's all about
is
getting
that the one?
yours. Is that the one where?
Yeah, it's all
Yeah,
about survival. It's all about getting yours,
yeah, that's
right?
Cube. Yeah, Trespass.
That's Cube.
Mm-hmm.
Trespass. It's basically that.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about survival. It's all about getting yours. That's what the fucking movie is. And if you're not trying to get over, somebody else will. But just know that if you're getting over and you get caught, somebody's coming for you.
Yeah.
That's the fucking life. And it's what it is. And sometimes you get lucky. One character gets busted. The idea, the premise is you've got two fucking scumbag petty criminals,
Junkies. Yeah.
junkies. They decide that they're gonna fucking hit through a conversation with this other low level.
Well, basically the Maury
Criminal.
character. The I set it up. I'm the one that I got the idea for this. I'm gonna fund this. Whatever.
Yeah.
That
I'm gonna set
asshole.
this up. Yeah. That guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, listen, Ray Liotta's character, he runs those card games. He's been robbed before. They thought it was him. He said it wasn't. Well, turns out in, however much time later, he was joking around with some other people. He admitted that it fucking was him. What you guys can do, now that I'm telling you about this and I get my cut, is that you fucking rob him and they're gonna fucking, they have to go for him because he got robbed twice, plus the fact that he, jokingly admitted it to some people that it was actually him in the first place. It's right there. But we have to do it now because someone else is gonna think of this.
Yeah.
So do it. So then these two low-level guys, they do it. And now motherfuckers are like, Ray Liotta, we know it was you. And he's like, I fucking swear, I'm making my mother get cancer. I swear it's not me. And they're like, it's fucking you. And then Brad Pitt comes to town and they're like, all right, clean it up. But Brad Pitt is like, the problem is that squirrel guy, the guy who does the setting it up, he knows me. Mm-hmm. So if he sees me coming, he's gonna know. So I know another guy. Bring him in. He's a consummate professional. And it turns out that it's fucking drunk ass fucking James Gandolfini, who's all fucked up.
Yeah.
And he's obsessed with the infidelities of his fucking girlfriend while being fucking drunk as fuck.
Fucking whores. Yeah.
Alcoholic, addicted to prostitutes.
Yeah.
And Brad Pitt is like, goes back to the corporate middle guy, and he's like, all right, we have a problem. The guy called in is actually fucked up, so we need to get him out of the picture. And the other guy's like, well, but you fucking called him. And they're like, yeah, I called him, but I didn't know he's the way he is, and now this needs to happen. And so we're going to get him out. And so it becomes this completely unresolved, at least on the screen, thread of the story, is that now Gandolfini, we never see Gandolfini again. All we see is Gandolfini's character as something or someone to show us, the audience, what could potentially, what happens to these people when they're not killed, when they're still alive, they're all fucked up, They have their fucking problems just like some other working stiff. Oh, my woman this, the bill's that, fucking, oh, I might go to jail, like, all this bullshit, fucking, I'm drinking too much. It's like, there's no romance. There's no fucking sense of like, oh, the criminals are free. No, the criminals work outside of the law, but they're locked into the system just like everyone else.
Yeah.
And it takes its toll. And so now Brad Pitt basically has to fucking kill everybody. And then he has to fight for his money.
Yeah.
That's the fucking movie. Is like, they don't even want to fucking pay the hitman. They're not even afraid of him.
Yeah. And that's what I love about it. The banality of it, the ridiculousness of it's a criminal enterprise, and these motherfuckers are still nickel and diming it. So they get, it's capitalism at its most abrasive and ugly, where it's like, we want the most that we can get for the least that we're going to have to pay for it. And, but even Brad Pitt's, we can't afford Mickey. Well, Mickey needs it right now, so yeah, we can get him. We can get him for this. We can get him for 10. I mean, there's an understanding of the world that they're working in, and I think what I love about the film is how, first of all, you don't see a film this bleak that often. True. Films are supposed to be uplifting, and you're supposed to walk out of there with, as far as the studios are concerned, you're supposed to walk out with this.
Think about the corporate products of Hollywood, and Hollywood is this fucking killing them softly metaphor. Yeah, of course.
Absolutely, So
Hollywood is there to kill us softly. Yes.
So for me, between Andrew Dominik, the director-writer, the source material from, I can't remember it comes from a book from 1974 called Hodges. I can't remember. What is it? It's called Kogan's Trade by a guy named George Higgins. I'm not familiar with this writer, but all of these characters, Dominik as the director, Gandolfini at the height of his Sopranos fame, coming in to do what amounts to a small supporting role, bigger than a cameo, but not so much of a, Ray Liotta. But it's Brad Pitt using the Brad Pitt muscle to get something made of quality. And, there was a time, I guess when Brad Pitt first came onto the scene, I was dismissive. I think we've talked about this. Brad Pitt was just a pretty boy. He was obvious. He didn't really work for me. He was just too goddamn good looking for me to take seriously.
What's the first thing you saw him?
Maybe Thelma and Louise, which they were playing up his how good looking he was. The first thing that I saw him in that really made me pay. I didn't see Legends of the Fall. I didn't see whatever the fuck else he had done. I think the first thing that I watched that I took real notice of him was Seven. And at the time, I didn't really care for his performance. I thought both Kevin Spacey and Morgan Freeman blew him out of the water. As I go back to the film, I realize that it's a pretty good performance. He is that guy. He is that young, brash, in over his head, but not realizing he's in over his head, young detective. And then Fight Club, and then I think around Fight Club was when it became all Brad Pitt all the time, and he was in the fucking news. But to his credit, the fact that he went out of his way to get projects like this made, he worked with Dominik, I think around this time with the assassination of Jesse James by the Coward Robert Ford.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful film. But both of that film and this film would not have gotten made without Brad Pitt.
Right.
But the thing is, Brad Pitt is good in both of them. I think he is really good in this film.
When he's good, he's fucking like...
You can't touch him.
He's really good.
Yeah, he's really good.
I mean, Legends of the Fall, he's great in Legends of the Fall.
I'm thinking that I'm going to have to make time for that film now. I mean, I haven't actively avoided it, but I saw no reason to make time to watch it.
You never saw that film?
I've never seen it. No. I've never seen it.
It's fucked up. It's fucked up. That's all I'm going to say.
Well,
we can talk about it after. Or not, but
in defense of not having seen it over in 30 some odd years, the trailer just put me off because it was so beautiful, and it just seemed to me like the film didn't have any kind of bite to it because it was just, look at how beautiful Brad Pitt is. That's what the trailer looked like to me. So I was like, I don't want to see this shit. I'm not a chick. I don't give a fuck about Brad Pitt. But because of your recommendation and
okay, tough guy. No, you check it out. I mean, it's got Anthony Hopkins, it's got Hayden Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can see reasons why you wouldn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I can see why you would watch it and not like. But I mean, I remember. In that era, it was like Thelma and Louise, fucking. I remember I rented Legends of the Fall, and then that was the era of. He was in Interview with the Vampire. He was in fucking that movie California.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Southern California with a K with Juliette Lewis and David Duchovny, and he's is it Juliette Lewis? Yeah, right?
It is Juliette Lewis. They were seeing each other at that time, I think.
And then because she was real fucking hot at that time too.
She was major. It was right after Cape Fear.
Yeah, I mean, it was fucking Natural Killers. It was all of that.
Yeah.
He was in A River Runs Through It.
Yeah.
So he was out there. I remember I fucking rented Johnny Handsome. I was like, fucking like, okay.
He's not in Johnny Handsome. Is he in Johnny Handsome? No, you're thinking about...
Is he not in Johnny Handsome?
I think we're talking about two different films. Johnny Handsome, I think, is the Mickey Rourke film where he's disfigured. The Walter Hill...
Which is the one where it has, I think it has Samuel L. Jackson.
I know the one you're talking about where he's got that high hair.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I just remember the cover was him with that giant hair in a bathtub. I can't remember if that's Johnny I think Johnny Handsome is the Mickey Rourke film that Walter Hill did, which is a really ugly little film noir from the 90s, I think.
Whatever fucking movie is that with the hair, and I think they're musicians and
it is another Johnny something, but I can't remember what film it is. I can find out in a minute. Just keep going. Yeah.
Well, it was just one of those things where he was just coming out in a lot of shit that it was like, okay, well, this guy's in this, and even that fucking stupid Meet Joe Black or whatever the fuck that was. Which I hated.
I never saw that. That was another one that I skipped.
And but I think when Brad Pitt, 12 Monkeys, fucking when Brad Pitt is like, he's good, and I a lot of it I think is sometimes it's a less is more, sometimes it's the casting, or it's always the casting with him. I mean, he was great in fucking he's like a Keanu Reeves like that to me. In the right roles, he's just. And sometimes the less he says, and it's not just the fact of the looks. I think it's more of it might be more of like a Steve McQueen type of thing, which does have a look, but it's also like his overall vibe is just kind of like keep his range small.
Yeah,
and he's better. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you know.
Yeah.
the point is that he's the guy in this film that has it together. He's the guy who's like clean.
Mm-hmm.
He's in shape. He fucking like, he looks very disciplined. He seems very disciplined. I want to see this guy's apartment, and I'm sure it's like super Spartan and fucking clean. But at the same time, like, you know that this guy's like, he chain smokes. He's got problems too.
Yeah.
But he buries them. Aside from the fact that he's a fucking contract killer, you know what I mean? Like, that's the obvious. But I'm very curious watching this film. Like, okay, this character, and I would want to see another film with this character.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think you could. That's the kind of thing where it's like, it's not necessarily a sequel. Those like it would just be the continuing adventures. You know, it's not like let's see. Because he would change worlds. He would go to a different place because he's a contract killer. He goes wherever somebody needs to be killed. So that's a whole set of different circumstances, and it's a whole set of different scumbags that he's going to have to deal with. But it's
Johnny Swade.
Yeah, Johnny
Sorry,
Swade.
Johnny Swade. Yeah,
1990s.
Anyway, yeah.
But I think that's I too would love to see this character, because I think there's the potential for growth there. There's a potential for, and I don't want to see him. I'm not looking for redemption in this character. I'm looking for either, you know what would be really interesting is to watch this character struggle with becoming or fighting the drive to become Gandolfini's character.
Well, that's the kind of the warning.
Yeah.
You know, that's the cautionary tale, is like, don't become this guy.
Well, that's kind of, yeah, I mean, that's a good thing about bringing Gandolfini in this. It's like, because Gandolfini's character isn't really necessary to the story, mm-hmm. except at least to the narrative. But it's for the feel and the vibe and the attitude of the story that's being told. He's good to be there to warn Pitt's character on the dangers of this life and this world and getting caught up in the drink. And you know, this guy's a fucking cokehead, so you know,
yeah,
big fat cokehead, you know, whoremonger.
And Brad Pitt hasn't seen him like that, because he speaks very highly of this guy, and he's like,
he wouldn't have brought him in otherwise. Yeah, you're right.
Right, and he's like the guy. He even tells the Jenkins character, he's like, the guy I was thinking of was the guy from years ago. Mm-hmm. I'm not thinking. I'm
like, I need the Mickey from 5 years ago. Yeah,
yeah, and everyone around Brad Pitt's character is it's like, if you fuck up, you're gonna get killed. If not only if you're greedy, but or if you appear to be greedy, like Liotta's character, you will be killed because of the way shit looks, appearances, perception. He knows that Ray Liotta didn't do this time. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's the perception.
He knows that it's the perception, and you have to keep things looking smooth. People have to be confident. It's like the gambling room is like the stock market. People have to be confident enough to spend their money. There's that. He doesn't want to become one of these fucking corporate like messenger boys either. Mm-hmm. But at some point, when his fucking knees start hurting, and he's tired of looking over his shoulder all the time, will there be an opportunity for advancement where they're like, hey, I don't even remember what the character's name is. What's his character's name?
Jackie Kogan.
All right, Jackie, like, what if we do? Just start meeting people. What if we meet other guys? Meet other button men. Like, here's an opportunity. You can make your money. All you have to do is talk. Like, at a certain age, that might be the move for him. But he's going to hate that. He's going to hate that.
That's the thing, yeah.
He's not one of those little fucking scumbag junkies. He's not that guy.
Mm-hmm.
But he probably does drink. He lifts weights and does whatever the fuck he does. He's probably had maybe he hasn't gone to prison, but like he's had his run-ins.
Mm-hmm. Well,
you know what I mean? Like
he's been in youth juvies. He's been
he's been in
probably
county,
foster homes, county shit like that. Yeah.
You get all of this. You're right. Like you get all that character just from that.
Mm-hmm.
And in another world, he would have been part of De Niro's crew in Heat.
Yeah.
In a different world, he would have been part of that. And he's one of those characters that's like he's cut from the mold of a fucking Charles Bronson. He's that guy.
Yeah.
So it is fascinating to see the cautionary tale aspect of like, fuck, who do I fucking how do I navigate this and not become all these people that I don't respect, even though sometimes, like, it might be the best thing for me. It's like at a job that fucking you don't care for, and sometimes you have an opportunity for advancement, but you shoot yourself in. I've done that. You shoot yourself in the foot because it's kind of like my thing is like you don't go up, you go further in.
Well, I mean, I feel the same way. It's like I'm watching this movie and I'm drawing the parallels. Okay, of course I'm not a hired killer, but someone asked me if I want to become upper management or go into management. Number one, am I built for that work? No. Number two, can I fake that shit? I don't even think I could fake it. Because it means compromising too much of who you are in order to do that job. So Jackie's only option is to make as much money as he can and get out of the business entirely. Right. But that poses the Heat question of when is enough too much, and for me the job is the juice.
Yeah, exactly. There's that. There's always the one last job that goes wrong.
Yeah, and that's a very real situation. This is a cautionary tale. It's a cautionary tale in respects of each one of us and the compromises and the choices and compromises we have to make on a daily basis. And you and I have talked about this numerous times. To in almost a way of looking, we discuss it because it's the reality of our lives, but there's also, I think, a sense of looking for a way around something that we know is hopeless. We're working class guys. We're always going to be working class guys. There's the understanding of that, but there's also the desire to find an answer, and at least for us, it's the art. It's the need to create, and I see that in this film. I beyond just the artistic achievement of the film, the characters do have a sense of I have to have a purpose. There has to be with Jackie, he has a code. Doing the job correctly and being professional. And when he starts talking about, I like to kill him from a distance, I like to kill him softly, he's not talking about making it easier on them, although it does in a sense make it easier on them, but he doesn't want to hear the crying. He doesn't want to see the pissing on themselves, and they talk about their mother. You know what? This is going to happen. You're going to die, and Let's just get this shit over with. Would you consider him a sociopath, or would you just consider him a guy that this is the fucking job? The psychology of the character is fascinating to me.
I mean, like, to me, when you pose that question, it's like his complaints about that whole speech about how fucked up the system is, that to me tells me the world has let this guy down,
Mm-hmm.
and he's angry about it. There are guys who it would just be like, I don't think about it. I just kill people.
Yeah.
That's different. This guy, I don't think he's a sociopath or a psychopath or there's this book, The Wisdom of Psychopaths. Have you heard of that book?
No, I'm not familiar with it. Mm-mm.
This guy, some researcher or whatever, went and spoke to different institutionalized people who, part of their brain, their wiring is different.
Yeah.
So their brains don't light up in the same way as ours do over like consequences to fucking things. Or there's another example with them. So there was some brain researcher, I saw this thing on YouTube like years ago about him. He was giving a speech about how something along the lines of he had all these brains, like these scans of brains, and somehow he had his own brain in there, and it ended up in the fucking psychopath pile.
Nice.
I don't know how that worked, that he got his own, but he realized that he himself is within the range of psychopathy, and he thought about it, and he was like, fuck, that's true. Like when we were kids, I never worried about getting in trouble because it didn't scare me to lie, like to like people in authority, because it just didn't scare me. It didn't make me nervous. I didn't feel nervous. I didn't feel any of that. So I didn't care about getting caught because I would just lie, and because I wasn't afraid, I would get away with it. Whereas these other kids, they were afraid of the consequences, or they felt bad about what they had done, or minor things, but still. And so it would give them a way that they were nervous, and that made them look more guilty. And he's like, and because I didn't feel anything one way or the other about it, I would just lie, and that made me seem confident and innocent. And so there's something to that where if you, God forbid, you hit an animal or something when you're driving.
Yeah.
There's a part like you're gonna feel bad. You're gonna feel like, oh fuck, like and right away, like the adrenaline, right away, all these things, and the average person, the so-called normal person, like it bothers you, or you don't want to, or you're already thinking of something that you're gonna get into with someone like at work or something, or you're gonna stick up for yourself or something, and so like already your blood is like, oh shit, you feel that thing in your stomach and it goes to your chest and all that. Certain people, it takes a lot more extreme behavior for them to feel that. And some people just really are built differently. Some people are made to be that way because of abuse or brain damage or whatever. And then some people are just born where they can go through the mental kind of map of like, okay, everyone feels like this after this happens. I just don't. I just don't. And you hear that, like, for example, I'm gonna tell me how this affects you. A house burned down in China yesterday. Does that bother you? Viscerally, physically, does it? I mean, you
If you
think of
just
it and you
tell
know
me,
that's
if you
fucked up.
tell me that, no.
I'm
But
telling you right now.
yeah, but if I start thinking about it, then I start creating a story in
Sure,
my head. That
sure. And then you
where
go, but
yeah.
and then you're like, fuck, that's fucked up. Well, did someone die, or
Hmm.
like, did everyone end up okay? Like, you do that,
Yeah.
but and you know that, like, okay, like, it's fucked up. No one wants to see blah blah, right?
Yeah.
Things that happen, but on a visceral level, it doesn't
No.
like bother you. Like, you didn't have a fucking that jolt of adrenaline if it's just like fucking like, oh shit, like, no, it's just some random information out there. That's how some people, like, they don't have a response like that, and therefore they just go for when they want something. They know what they need to do, and they can do it because they don't stop themselves, because they're not afraid of those consequences,
Yeah.
because they're not like thinking ahead of time. Blah blah. That's the wisdom of psychopaths. Kind of like some aspects of it. I don't, and I went out into all of that just because the the characters in this film, there are going to be those in the movie. In this movie, Brad Pitt is one of those, like, um, he's like a sharp, very sharp pencil, but he didn't start out as a sharp pencil. He just started out as a regular fucking pencil, and like all pencils, like, the sharpness of the pencil just depends on the sharpening of the pencil. Like, some are fucking blunt as fuck because they've been used. Some have been sharpened until they're just a little fucking stump with no eraser and all chewed up on the end. You know what I mean? Like, he has to stay sharp, but the sharpening shortens the fucking pencil. So it's one of those things. And if you don't fucking sharpen the pencil, you can't use the pencil. It doesn't write. So that's the situation, and that's what the system does to all of us. It's fucked up.
Well, it is. It is. Well, I don't know of a film. I don't know of a film that has captured that level of hopelessness and honest hopelessness in this manner. And I'm glad that it exists, because I think you need a film like this to balance out the bullshit that we're constantly fed, and the happy joy bullshit that's out there telling us that it's all going to work out. And I like that it's contrasted, and that it's addressed and contrasted in this film with a group of people who are just fucking lowlifes. And it's very rare that you see a film this brave, and filmmakers brave enough to really create this story and make it real. And I don't think the film pulls any punches. I don't think it tries to tone it down. Even Brad Pitt isn't his cool, good-looking Brad Pitt thing isn't amplified in this movie. It's there because it can't help but be there. But in no way is he's definitely not positioned like Tarantino positions him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This is a guy that is, yeah, you're going to notice him when he walks into the room. But he's not necessarily somebody you want to know. He's not necessarily somebody that you want to have a beer with, or he's just not a good man. But of what is on the screen, by the nature of the narrative, he's the one that I don't know if rooting for is the right word, but he's the one that we're taken with. And I gotta say that for the story that's being told, I'm in love with what's going on here. I really do. I really do dig this movie. I like this movie a lot. But it is a film of a certain kind of hopelessness that I think I saw this movie around the same time I saw 44 Inch Chest, and there's something about this movie that reminds me of that movie.
Yeah.
I don't. It's not story, but there's something about the vibe of it that is very much in keeping with that, or that's in keeping with this. I don't know exactly what it is. I have to go back to that movie. I'm gonna have to watch this and that again, and maybe it'll reveal itself to me. But I think I think there's something to be said about bad men doing bad things in a world that is bad, yeah. If you want to just go with one word, yeah.
Men bad. World bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. All bad.
All of it.
Yeah. BuyMeACoffee.com/WatchRickRamos. If you want to contribute, that's where you go. If you want to check out the archive, we have the archive on Libsyn.com. Till next time. Bad men, bad world. Be good.